Hi, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to my second segment of Marriage Chronicles, The Life of a Military Spouse. It's your girl, Tyene Nicole. Now, I'm coming to you. First, I want to say my first video, it didn't do as well, but it did good. It did good for it to be my very first YouTube channel, just discussing marriages. A lot of people don't like to discuss marriages, does not like to discuss their relationship. They do not like to discuss anything that is personal. So, it did really good. I'm just needing more subscribers. I need you guys to subscribe. I need you guys to share this video. Just share it. But the first question that I got that I will be discussing is the first 3 years of marriage. Once you get through the first 3 years of marriage, is your marriage going on a great path? That's a hard question to answer because technically you shouldn't really put a number on it because it really depends on the individual itself. It really depends on your marriage, your goals going into your marriage, the person itself. Just because you get married does not mean that your spouse has changed his ways or her ways. You want to things that you allowed in your boyfriend and girlfriend relationship may not be the things that you want to bring into your marriage. So that's one thing you also have to look at it. But um, if you are a number type of person where you have to put a number on everything, I will give you a number that worked for me. And the number that I will give you guys, that it took me about 5 years to understand what marriage was really all about. Um, and that's just from a personal, um, just a personal reason. And I say it because I was raised up, pretty much my mom and my aunties were, I don't know how to, I don't know the word, but my mom and my aunties were very, very independent. And they always, you don't need a man for anything. You don't need a man for that. You need to get out there and get it yourself. So I always had that mindset that I don't need a man for anything. And even if it was the simplest things, I still, with me dating my husband and actually getting married to my husband, I still, certain things I didn't do. I didn't go to him and ask him for money. I didn't do those things. I would borrow money from my mom, my aunties before I went to my husband. And that caused a little friction in our marriage because I wouldn't go to him because I felt like if he knew that I didn't need him, then he would treat me like a queen. He wouldn't, because it's some men, not all men, but some relationships, when they feel like you're needing them and you're using them as that crutch, or they just feel like you can't do anything without them, they kind of start acting a little different. And that's just by other people's relationships that I've seen, or other people coming to me about their issues. So, in my sense, I was kind of scared about that. I didn't want you to feel like I needed you, so then you could start treating me a little bit different. So I did. I was a little bit stubborn. I was a little bit more independent. I just was like, if I ever absolutely needed something, I wouldn't go to my husband. So it took me a while. It took me a while to understand that my husband is my best friend. My husband is my protector. He's my security blanket. He's my everything. So I shouldn't be scared to go to my husband and talk to my husband or ask my husband for anything. So I can say it took me about 5 years to understand my role as a wife, being submissive, and his role as my husband, as being the dominant and being the head, and us being equally yoked and us coming together when we make decisions together. So it took us about 5 years for us to come to a equal medium when it comes to raising our children. Anything that we have an issue with, we know how to come to each other and talk it out. And that's something that has to be, kind of taught. It's kind of something you learn um, through your marriage, because you start learning the ins and outs of everything and trying to figure out how to make this marriage your marriage. You don't want to live your marriage because, oh, my mom and dad was married for 30 something years. Let me do my marriage the way that they did it. It may not work for you and your husband. So you have to work as a team and become a team and have that understanding of what it takes to become a successful marriage. Not a perfect marriage, because nothing's perfect, but a successful marriage. So With that being said, I will say 5 if you need a number, but I would not necessarily put a number on marriage. It's all based on how much you're willing to change for that your person, your spouse, or your your husband. It's it takes a lot, so you have to figure out what you want to do. But with that being said, thank you for tuning in. I try to make these videos very, very short, but also give you a lot of information in the video. But thank you for tuning in to my second segment, Marriage Chronicles, The Life of a Military Spouse. It's your girl, Ty Nicole. Please subscribe. Please share. And thank you for tuning in.